Hello and welcome to Elevate with Elisheva, a show that is based on healing from within so that you can truly live a life that feels aligned with you and that you can really learn to love yourself in even the darkest parts of ourselves. In today's episode, I am talking about the energy of the month according to Kabbalistic astrology. Normally, I do a show with someone that I'm talking with about healing, maybe their story as well. But once a month, I take a moment to acknowledge the shift of energy. So this is a really exciting month, especially according to the Kabbalistic astrology, because it is one of the toughest and hardest months. So in the Hebrew month, in the Hebrew calendar, we are now in the month of Tammuz. Tammuz, Av, and Tevet are the three hardest months according to Kabbalistic astrology. And why is that? All of a sudden, we are feeling such a shift of energy. So let's go back a little bit and see the journey that we've been going on. So we started the year, the Hebrew calendar, in Nisan. This is the month of the birth of the Jewish nation, when we are leaving Mitzrayim, Egypt, and we are born as a Jewish nation. So that was the beautiful month of Nisan. And then we went into ER. And in ER, this is the month of healing. We are preparing ourselves to receive the Torah. So we are going on a personal but deep spiritual journey in the month of Sivan. Next, in the month of ER, and now in the month of Sivan, we are receiving the Torah. And that's also the month and the holiday of Shavuot. So it's a really beautiful journey, and these first 3 months were really abundant, full of love and kindness. And there are some Kabbalists that even teach that the first 3 months are connected to Yaakov, and these are the months of kindness, of chesed. And now that we are transitioning into the Hebrew month of Tammuz, this is where things sort of change. And they even say that this month is connected to Esav. There were a few spiritual wars, as we know, between Yaakov and Esav, and these spiritual wars caused for Esav's energy also sort of to come and rise in these Hebrew months. So Tammuz, the energy can be translated to as warlike behavior. During the month of Tammuz, things are much hotter. The sun is the hottest. Things are really, really hard this month. So we see this in Tammuz and Av when it is the hottest time of the year. And this really calls for us to really practice what we have been learning. And in today's episode, I am diving deep and giving you the spiritual weather forecast for the month so that you can learn how to navigate it. If there is this information for you to learn and learn how to navigate it so that you can truly learn from life or from mistakes so that you stop repeating the same mistakes, then this is it. Learning about the energy of the month is our guiding tool for us to elevate our month. And Tammuz is personally, right now, I'm also having a pretty hard time emotionally, and it is not a coincidence that the sign of this month is Cancer, and it's also a water sign. So there are a lot of emotions surfacing for many people this month. And it doesn't matter if you are born in the month of Cancer or in the month of Tammuz. This energy is felt by everyone, no matter where you are from or which month that you are born in. We are all affected by this energy. So this is something for everyone to learn, and something anyone can benefit from this episode. So if you think someone can benefit from listening to this, then please share it with them. The more that people know this knowledge, the more that we can elevate together and really grow on a deeper spiritual level. So where do I begin? Wow, there is so much information that we can learn about the Hebrew month, but for the sake of this episode, I'm just going to share things that really spoke to me and has been helping me so far. Although I'm recording this episode a little bit late in the game, I would say Rosh Chodesh Tammuz was last week Thursday, and today is Sunday. So not so bad, but still. Thank you either way for taking a listen now, because when we already know this information, we can already begin to navigate the life differently. So let's begin. How do we learn about the energy of the month? According to Kabbalah, we look at the name itself. And in the name Tammuz, the Hebrew letters that are even connected to it. According to Sefer Yetzirah, the book of formation, this is basically how the world was created. And this was authored by Avraham Avinu and then written down later by Rabbi Akiva. So this is pretty amazing stuff. And of course, if anyone's interested, you can always find these sources online. It's available to everyone. I just choose to share about it because I've been doing this for years now, where I'm sharing about the energy of the month and also really following it. And it has completely changed and transformed the way that I navigate the month. So to be here and to be able to be a channel, a conduit of this information, it feels really amazing. And I really hope that this does help the listeners and it helps you guys really navigate this time. So going back to understanding the energy of the month, we look at the name, the letters of the month, and through this we receive the energy. We're able to learn, we're able to decipher what the energy will be this month. And in the name Tammuz itself, Tammuz is actually not a Hebrew name. It's a Babylonian name, and this is also a name of a god of fertility god. And a big question that I'm being asked a lot is, why is Tammuz a difficult month? Why is it so hard? After all these 3 months that we were receiving so much abundant love and wisdom, chokhmah, and we're receiving the Torah, what is happening all of a sudden that we're going through such tragedy? So what happened during this time was that during the month of Tammuz, Moses went to receive the Torah. He went away for 49 days, and the Jewish nation, they miscalculated how long he went away for. And the men started saying that he's never coming back. We got to go pray to the gods, and they built a golden calf. They lost their amunah, they lost their faith in Moshe. And if they waited just 6 more hours, then we would have been in a state of Mashiach forever, eternally. But it was also the women that kept to their faith. And because of the women keeping to their faith and they did not take part in building the golden calf, then Rosh Chodesh, the renewal of every month, is really for women. So it's a very, very special time also to acknowledge the faith and the power that a woman has in trusting and really knowing to trust her intuition. So that is another powerful point. So in Tammuz was also the time of the golden calf. And this was really when the tablets were also destroyed. So we have the golden calf, the tablets were destroyed, and also we have a fast on the 17th of Tammuz. And this was when the reason for this fast is because the walls of Jerusalem were breached by the Romans. So this has so much history, so much rich history in it. And originally Tammuz and Av were meant for the month of Mashiach. So these months can be seen as reserved for Mashiach. But nonetheless, right now when we're in it, it's pretty hard. I know personally for myself, when Tammuz kicked in, wow, everything for me started to shift. And I don't say that lightly. There's so many things that have been surfacing for me emotionally, and the hardship, the struggle is real. I really felt the lift and the light when we were in Sivan and ER, all that tremendous healing, and then Tammuz came in, and then all of a sudden it just the Shekhinah, which is the female aspect of God, the dwelling energy of God here on earth, becomes more hidden, because the Shekhinah represents the female aspect. Also, the females, they sort of hide when they don't feel safe. Women need to have security. And the Shekhinah is no exception. It's still the female aspect of God. So the Shekhinah, she is hiding herself. Her presence is less felt. And through the Shekhinah, the prosperity and the abundance come. And now that we're in Tammuz, because we had such tragedy in Tammuz, the Shekhinah is protecting herself. And we also see that in the sign of Cancer, which is the symbol of a crab, where a crab has a really tough shell to protect their soft inside. So the Shekhinah is doing that same thing. She built a barrier, a wall, and she took a step back, and she is less felt here dwelling on earth, and we're feeling that lack, and it's something very strong that we're feeling. So if you are feeling emotionally unstable, or you're just having a lot of emotions surface for you, then just know that you are really aligned with the energy of the month, and there is really nothing wrong with you. You are meant to feel your feelings. Part of healing is to feel it. So if you want to heal it, feel it, and to really explore your emotions. Every month of the Hebrew calendar, there's always a unique energy, something that we are meant to focus on. And when we explore these insights, these emotions, these feelings, then we have so much wisdom and so much light that we can learn from. But that journey is not always easy. Healing itself is not linear. It can be so messy. And Tammuz reminds me of that. It reminds me of my own healing journey. The amount of struggle and pain I had to feel just to heal really brought me to a different place, because I used to be someone that would suppress, and sometimes I still do. It's this pattern that I noticed that I carry with me, is that I suppress my feelings and then they just come up. And it's not healthy, because we want to be proactive and feel how we want to just feel. Part of being a human being is to feel. And in Tammuz, this month is to feel those emotions. And when they surface for you, allow them to come up, allow them to teach you and to guide you. We are meant to feel them for whatever reason. So if you want to heal the struggle, if you want to grow through the struggle, the only way out is through. And that means you have to go through that process of healing. And part of it is so difficult, but it's also so beautiful at the same time. We always have these layers of healing that needs to come undone, that unfold. And you can always be healing from something that happened from years ago, or even an hour ago. It doesn't matter. Our emotions have no notion of time. And what that means is, in our brain, they're part of the amygdala, and there's no sense of time there. So even scientifically and physiology in our body, our emotions just come up, and it can be something that we're hurt from years ago. That's why trauma can be passed down. That's how trauma can be felt from years on. Even if it was 10, 15 years ago, that trauma from when you were a child is still felt. So that is just a little explanation about how sacred this beauty of Tammuz is. Within the hardship, within the challenges, lies the medicine. Within it lies our healing. So before it sounds like really terrible, like Tammuz is such a terrible month, yes, it has its hardship, but even the hardship are blessings in disguise, because Hashem wouldn't give you an experience if you couldn't handle it. And I know that phrase is really passed down a lot for people who are religious or Jewish in a sense, but understand that and don't take it lightly, because we all have these experiences, and according to Kabbalah, we are here to transform. We are meant to go through experiences that actually help us grow and heal and transform. So when you're going through this process, you are really healing generations after yourself, and you're healing the generations before you. So healing comes in many shapes and forms. We had beautiful healing in ER, and now we are in Tammuz, and we're continuing that healing. And the biggest message that I want to share in this time is that to learn to love the shadow parts of yourself. This podcast is all about healing, but deeper than healing. It's really easy to heal and love the good parts of yourself, but the true healing comes when you love those parts of yourself that you push down, that you suppress, that you hide away, and you lock the key and you never want to see those parts of yourself. But those are the parts that need your love the most. And when you can truly love yourself for all aspects, for all the emotions and feelings and experiences, then yes, that is true healing, because you're loving every part of yourself, and every part of yourself deserves that love because your love is pure. And in Tammuz, the healing here is to love those dark parts, and they're being revealed to us. So it's really beautiful that there's designated times throughout the year to heal, to go through our own personal journey, to go through our own spiritual journey. And this is why I absolutely love going with the Hebrew calendar and incorporating it into my life, because it has brought me so many blessings from within. And the true healing is from within. The true happiness and the success is when you can go inwards and extract and bring it down the light and turn that darkness into light with your love. The guidance that I do with my clients or people that I work with is just showing them that they are capable of being their own healer. So whenever I talk about healing tools in these episodes, it's really for you to practice. I can share all my experiences and the tools that have helped me, but it's up to you to take them and to do something with them. And really, that's what I really hope for at the end of the day. And beyond the tragedy that we've had about the destruction of, also in Tammuz, the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash, and we've also had the golden calf this month, it's also the summer season, and the summer season is tremendously difficult. It's hot. People are more aggravated because we're sweating more. There's such an impact on the heat. There's always this, here in Israel, there's always this like fine line in these couple of days between the spring, which, is May, June. But once it hits July at a certain point, it just becomes terribly hot. So here in Israel, there's a lot of aggression. And like I said earlier, that you can really describe the energy of Tammuz as warlike behavior, because that is the energy of Esav. It's that redness, that fire, and we actually see it in our face. We're physically becoming hot. So this is like the season. And during this time, we're also letting loose. There's no school. Our schedules, everyone is feeling this urge to go on vacation. I know I'm really feeling it, but I'm really keeping myself grounded during this time, because I want to stay consistent with the things that I've been creating. Pausing that for 1 second. My laptop was going to die, and I gotta plug it in. So now that's plugged in, let's get back to it. Tip number 1, guys, when you are recording stuff, make sure your laptop is always plugged in. But anyways, so during the summer seasons, there's heat, there's more temper, there's anger, and there are desires. Whoa. Are there desires just to let loose? And we see that in our schedules. Maybe people tend to wake up later. They want this sense of vacation, just to basically stop the work that they have been doing for these past months and just go on vacation. As nice as that sounds, these are the months where we are really meant to nourish what we already have, that we have been building since the winter months. We want to stay consistent in the month of Tammuz. So there's always this idea of an illusion in Judaism that nothing really appears, nothing really seems to be what it really is. And we also sort of see that with perspectives of things like happen in your life and you don't really get the full story, then we don't really understand what's going on. So rather than taking a break, stay consistent with the things that you're creating. Of course, if you already made like summer vacation plans, great, amazing. But at the same time, I highly recommend that you stay consistent with the things that you are doing and allow this energy to pass, these urge and desires, and know that vacation always comes and goes. But it's also your projects and the things that you've been working on, they also really matter. So before you give up and you give in to the desire of letting go, try and see if it still works. Give yourself a chance. Believe in yourself. And because these months, there's less of the Shekhinah, and it's sort of the energy of Esam, then this energy of the Yetzer Hara, Sitra Achra, if you guys are familiar with these terms, are more dominant, and they play more mind games on us. If you ever been through this, in the morning, it's our most vulnerable time. Our thoughts are at its most vulnerable because we don't have this spiritual power to fight back these negative self-talk. So we're also experiencing this now in the summer months. So really try your best, if you can, to stick to your practices, your spiritual and personal practices that help elevate you and that help you make you feel good and that takes care of your work. I know for myself, I was feeling just to let a few things go, and then I told myself, believe in yourself just one more time. And I pulled off this amazing and organized this amazing Rosh Chodesh circle here in Tel Aviv, and with so much love and gratitude in my heart, with an amazing team as well, it really transformed the way that I was seeing this whole situation. I was so close to giving up, but then I reminded myself to nourish what I already have, and it really transformed my perspective. So also in the Hebrew letters, we can learn about the energy of the month. So Chet is connected to the sign of Cancer, and Chet is also not the nicest Hebrew letter because Chet is also sin in Hebrew. So it's sort of like a wordplay, but it's also really interesting because we have this sin of the golden calf. And a lot of times this month, because we have such hot temper, we are emotionally releasing our temperaments onto other people, and we are projecting ourselves onto other people, and it's much harder to hold and restrict ourselves. And restriction is a Kabbalistic principle of waiting and allowing the light to come in and taking a moment to pause and not falling into the heat of the moment, literally the heat of the moment. So it's really, really phenomenal, the wisdom that we are learning just by looking at the Hebrew letters. So now going into the sign of Cancer. Actually, before that, I want to go into the tribe. The tribe that's connected to this month is Reuven. And how do we know this? Is because it's how the 12 tribes of Israel walked in what order. So the fourth one, Reuven. And Reuven is also really connected to the Hebrew word reya, to see. And that is the sight. And that is sight, but also that is the sense of this month. And this just completely blows me away because we have our sight, and our sight can actually play games on us. So this is also part of the illusion when things appear to be really, really terrible, but yet when we pass that storm, when we ride that wave, it was a blessing in disguise that we had no idea that it will turn out for our greater good. So whatever is happening, I know in my life I am facing a big experience, a nisayon, for me to really be trusting in my faith in myself, my body, and Hashem, and trusting that everything is okay. And I'm trying to seek the truth and finding how this is for my benefit. even if it's a struggle, even if it's really, really hard for me emotionally, spiritually, and physically, it's difficult. But I know if I'm going through this, how can I go through this with the most awareness that I can, so that I can elevate it and try to find meaning and purpose within the experience. So I turn the chaos into a purpose. I find that purpose, because anytime that we're going through something, there has to be a reason, and we may not know why in the beginning, but even when it's terribly hard, there is a reason for it. So I really encourage to find that purpose for you, whatever that means to you, to explore the purpose and the meaning behind why it is that you're going through what you are. So the site for this month is, the sense of the month is sight. And this month we can also receive perspective. We have ayin lotov and ayin lara. And kilo ayin hatov and ayin hara, which we see, and you can even hear in that name, which eye are you looking through life? Are you looking with a good eye, or are you looking with a bad eye? How are you looking at the experiences that you are going through? And you have this opportunity in the month of Tammuz to really practice seeing your situation in a really good light. And yes, it's really difficult because we have the emotions, and our emotions are meant to be felt, and they're meant to move through you. Emotion, even in the word emotion, is the word motion. So it's phenomenal. And it's also one of our greatest teachers for us to explore how we can learn from our intuition. So in the sign of Cancer, it's a water sign, and it is the most water sign there is. So we are really feeling those emotions. And the crab, they don't walk straight, they actually walk left to right. And that also shows a bit of the personality of the people born in Cancer this month, because they, just like the moon rules over in the month of Tammuz, and it's black and white. They see things black and white. And they have this hard shell, as I explained earlier, that the Cancers have a hard shell, and inside is their softness. So they built this shell to protect them from the outside world that can be really cruel. But if a Cancer is not balanced, then they can be overly emotional or not feel and be emotionally unavailable to the outside world. And that can be really difficult for relationships and bonding with other people. So it's a practice, learning to open up your heart this month and allowing your emotions to guide you in a sense of understanding how you are feeling. A lot of times when we don't know what we want, it's because we're not really connecting to ourselves. And when we're not connected to ourselves, we're making decisions based on fear. But if you're feeling yourself, if you're feeling truly how you want to, if you're feeling your emotions and you're connecting to your intuition, then these are your guiding tools to help you make decisions in your life. And this month, we're all about making decisions as well. So there are many things surfacing for us during the month of Tammuz, and I really hope that by revealing the light, you're able to remove the shell that is preventing you from seeing the blessings in disguise this month for you. And I really hope also in the crabs, Cancers, they love to see through things. They always seek justice and truth. So allow yourself to see through the illusion and get to the divine source of things and be the light. And this is a phrase that I've been carrying with me since Rosh Chodesh Tammuz, and it has been really difficult. And that is, don't be right, be light. And I'm going to say that again. Don't be right, be light. And it is one of the hardest things to be light, even though, our ego wants to be right. But it's a really humbling process to recognize the whole reason why we're here is not to be right, but rather to be light in the situation. Acknowledge the hardship of the other person, and especially acknowledge the hardship that you're going through during this time, and use your medicine. Like for me, my medicine for the next couple of weeks is to meditate and journal. So these are my medicines for the next couple of weeks, and I truly invite that you have your toolbox ready for you this time so that you can continue to learn and grow through the process. And if you have any more questions, and if this is something that resonated with you, then please feel free to reach out to me at elisheva.lavi on Instagram. And if you know anyone that might benefit from this information, then please send it to them. And if you haven't already, then please subscribe and like the channel on YouTube or follow me on Spotify. And I'm wishing you guys an amazing Chodesh. May you really reveal the light, be the light, and acknowledge your emotions and allow them to be your teachers this month. It's no coincidence that we're taking a time to slow down, getting to know ourselves on a deeper level, on an emotional level nonetheless, and explore yourself. And yeah, wishing you guys a beautiful week, Chodesh Tov, and see you next week.